Hello, thank you for joining me for a discussion of feeling safe in an unsafe world. I am Dr. Diane Urban. I'm a psychologist and a adjunct professor at Manhattan College, SUNY Empire College, and SUNY WCC. Feeling safe in the world today is not easy, and I need to stress that feeling safe is very different from being safe. We cannot protect ourselves or our children from all of the events in the world. We cannot eliminate the things that cause us concern and worry. And as parents, we cannot control all of the things our children need to face, whether it's pollution in the air or lead in the water or road rage or school shootings or certainly the myriad of concerns that have developed through this pandemic. What we can do, however, is make sure that they feel safe. And we do that by establishing a sense of trust in the world. We've been doing that from the moment of their birth. The first thing we do when they cry is we hold them. And by doing that, we teach them that their cries have effective communication and that they can trust us to take care of them. As they are growing and they call us from their bedroom and they are afraid of something and we reassure them, we let them know that they can trust us to protect them and that we will keep them safe. And as they get older, we help them understand that we trust their ability to make good decisions and we trust their ability to meet their own needs and we trust their abilities to provide for their own health and safety while they are out of our sight. So the process of establishing trust is ongoing, and we need to make sure that we understand and our children understand that it's not just trusting us, it's trusting the larger world. But right now we need to reinforce that sense of trust in the world and sometimes reestablish it because we have been facing very frightening times. The development of trust is a crucial factor in feeling safe in an unsafe world. And there are a couple of strategies that I want to go over that will help us reestablish that if it's feeling a little shaky right now. One of the strategies that we use regularly are called heuristics. They're rules of thumb which keep us focused on efficiently solving problems. They help us make decisions quickly. They help us navigate the world effectively. One heuristic is called the availability heuristic, a sense that something that pops in your mind easily must be important. Another heuristic we use is representativeness, and the representative heuristic says that because something is available, it must represent the larger picture. In the world we're facing right now, the things that are available to us and representative are very frightening. What we are exposed to in all forms of media influence what is available to us and what is representative to us. So if we're watching TV or we're on the internet and we watch the news, we see things on videos that are, showing us pictures of death and despair, and we see all these acts of danger, and we see the world full of people who are not well, and we see hospitals overflowing, and we saw these scary images. That becomes what is easily available, and it becomes what represents the world at large, and it becomes frightening. And in order for us to counteract that and make the world feel more trusting, we need to make sure that we provide our children and ourselves with stories of helpfulness and kindness and compassion, because then we will believe and we will remember, because it is true, that the world is full of these attributes as well. And in fact, these attributes are more the norm than the things we are seeing right now. While we are right now in this world where the news is so bad, we need to make every effort to increase the other side, the attributes of kindness. We need to make sure that we counter those images with images of helpfulness, kindness, compassion, so that those things are equally available and representative of the world. We are confronted over and over again with other images that will contradict that. And our job is to help our children see the kindnesses because they're not being represented in the news right now. So we need to be much more aware of pointing those out to ourselves and to our children. We need to make sure we point out the kindnesses that we're experiencing in our own family every day. We need to help them see the kindnesses. So if they go to the refrigerator and they get a glass of water and they say to someone else who's living there, "Hey, do you want one too?" That's an act of kindness and we need to acknowledge it. If they share something that they've been keeping on the side because groceries are hard to get, and they say, "Oh, do you want a bite of this? Do you want some of it?" That's a very significant act of kindness, and we need to acknowledge that too. We need to let them know that humans, by their nature, are helpers. We need to encourage our children, no matter what age they are, to be helpers. And we need to allow other adults in our lives to help us. We're so intent on being independent and being in charge of our own lives, but it is an act of kindness to let someone else help us, because when they help us, they feel competent, they feel capable of making their own decisions, they feel important and useful in someone else's life. Helping people makes us feel good, and we need to allow everyone we're with to be able to be good helpers. We also need to be very aware that what they're missing about school, in addition, of course, to the academics, is they're missing the opportunity to be independent thinkers and to practice making decisions on their own and making choices on their own. We need to allow them the opportunity to debate with us, to talk about what they think are the good solutions that we need. How are we going to solve some of these problems we are facing? We need to let them talk it out, and we need to listen to their ideas and let them brainstorm it and acknowledge that they are helping us with their thoughts. We also need to acknowledge that anxiety is a constant part of our life right now, and our goal is to manage it. And one of the things we need to do to manage it, and the most important thing really, is to bring our body back to a calm place. We need to do that by lowering our heart rate, and the most effective way to do that is by taking deep breaths. Breathe in very slowly and then breathe out very slowly. Best way to do that and have fun at the same time is to blow bubbles. And if you don't have bubbles, dishwashing detergent works. And it's a wonderful way to be able to do that, because you have to breathe in very slowly, exhale. And while the bubbles are floating away, you picture your worry in that, and it goes further and further away from you. Coloring is also a nice way to relax the body, because by coloring, you move your arm in a way that is very soothing and very relaxing, and you focus just on the picture. That's a very wonderful thing to do. It also reminds us, by doing that some of the things that are natural to children, the ability to pretend and have fantasy, helps us all feel safe, and we need to engage in that. Our go-to in this modern world is to go to the internet to look for things to entertain us and to relax us, like go and look for pictures of cats and dogs. But when we do that, we're very tempted to go to the news, and we don't want to do that right now. We're trying to avoid that availability. We want to have something calmer. So getting old-fashioned paper and pencil and drawing a picture, or writing down a name of a person who brings us joy, that's what we want to do, and be able to go to that whenever we're feeling anxious. We also, I think, want to create a place that we could travel to, because travel has become very frightening in all forms. We're not going outside. We are not going to work. We are not going on vacation. So the world became much smaller, and children are very frightened by that. So going to the library and downloading a documentary about some travel log, that's a wonderful place to go and have a fantasy vacation. And it reminds children that the horrors we're seeing on TV are one side of life, but there is this other place, this other time where it's wonderful, and people live, and they have good food to eat, and they have exciting things to go see, and that will happen again. And enjoy those videos together. And if you can, even cook a food that comes from that country or that place, and make it a whole little vacation inside your house. It's a wonderful way to engage in fantasy and pretend. Another thing is to engage in future talk, to talk about what we think the world will look like. And much of what we hear on TV is how scary that new world is going to be. But we need to take our own view on that and engage in the future and how it will be better, and how the kindnesses we're seeing will now be our new priority. And the appreciation we're feeling will continue a lot longer. And the world can be better in a lot of different ways. So engaging in that kind of future talk is very important going forward. We also need to acknowledge that all of us, children and adults included, are going to do a little bit of regression. We're going to behave in ways that are more appropriate for a different time in our life. So a toddler who has recently been toilet trained might start having accidents again. And they're not doing that to frustrate us or make us angry or make our lives more difficult. They're doing it because on some level, they recognize that we're very anxious now, and they're trying to get back to that safer place where things were calmer. And And sometimes that will physiologically manifest itself by forgetting how to be toilet trained. As adults and teens and younger children, we might be regressing in different ways. We might be yelling more, or we might be crying more, we might be slamming the door. Those are also inappropriate behaviors, and we need to accept them in the moment, and then we need to be able to address them and say, I recognize why you're doing that. I recognize that you're looking for the safety of the past, but that's not how you get there. And let's talk about and use some of these strategies that we're learning today to bring us to a calmer place. And it brings us to the next level, which is the what if plan. What many of us do not want to face are having to answer the questions about these fears that we have. So children might be, well, what if we never get to go back to school? Or what if we can't pay the rent? Or what if we lose our job? And these are not just concerns of children. These are the concerns they're hearing us express. Those questions need answers, and we need to come up with some of them. Well, what if the economy isn't good? Well, maybe we're going to have to move in with the extended family. We need to give them some concrete answers, and we need to explore those ourselves. And we need to hear what their ideas are, because again, they might have ideas. And even if we can't do their ideas, we need to listen to them so we know what they're thinking and use their thoughts to help them navigate this new world they're experiencing. The biggest what if our children are facing is the fear of losing us. And for many of you who are designated emergency workers who are out there, you're scared and your children are scared, and that's appropriate. How are we going to manage that fear to feel safe? We say, these are the things we are doing to stay safe. We are wearing gloves. We are washing our hands often. We are wearing our face masks. We will outline all of those for ourselves and for them so they know we are doing everything possible to stay safe. That will make them feel safe. But the ultimate question they want to ask is, what if you die? And we need to be able to answer that as well. I hope this answer will help you and help them. The answer, I think, is simplest to understand, is to say to them, when you were very little, you would close your eyes and you would think I was gone. But I wasn't gone. I was right there. Just because you couldn't see me didn't mean I wasn't there. And when I put you to bed at night and you called me because you were afraid and you thought I was gone, I was always there. And I came. And when I dropped you off at school and you thought I would never come back and you were afraid, I always came back. And if I die, I will always be with you, because I will always be in your memories and I will always be in your heart. And no one can ever take that away. And I will always be there. And that will provide them and you the comfort that you really need, because that is the truth. I think what we need to do is remember that going forward, we're all going to try to breathe. We're going to think good things about the world. We're going to talk about how we will handle things if they don't go the way we hope they will. We are going to be fearless. As adults, we recognize that the world can be very frightening and the realities of it are frightening. And we have the cognitive and emotional abilities to handle that for the most part. We need to help our children navigate that world. We need to talk to them when they are feeling stressed and scared by what they are seeing in this pandemic. We need to help them process it cognitively and emotionally. We need to provide them comfort and reassurance. We need to model that how even doing a small act of kindness can make a big difference in the world. We need to let them know while these horrifying events are real and they are easily available to us, they are not representative of the world. What is representative of the world is the kindness and compassion that all humans are born with and that we are exhibiting on a daily basis. We need to make it clear that empathy, kindness, compassion are who we are. And it's evidenced everywhere by all of the people who are out there helping all of us stay safe. I hope you found this helpful. If you would like further information, you can check my website, real-matters.com. You can also go for support and resources at the Westchester County Helpline. You can call them at 914-995-1900 or text them at 914-461-7281. I hope this has helped you feel safer.